Sloka Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki. Welcome everyone to this transcendental program of studying the Bhagavad Dharma, Param Dharma, the ultimate duty of a humankind. Currently, one second. साढ़े 6 बजे आना. Hare Krishna. Currently, we are studying as part of this Param Dharma, the Prema Bhakti Chandrika of Sri Narottam Das Thakur Mahashay. So systematically, he is providing the perfect education. Perfect means the ways and all the subtleties of perfecting our human potential. That is to perfect, to attain the perfection of the Param Dharma. Savai punsam paro dharmo yato bhaktir adhokshaje ahaitukya pratihata yayatma samprasarati. Attaining the perfection in our performance of this Param Dharma, it will give the full satisfaction to the soul. It will give the soul the most blissful experience. Ahetuki apratihata. Apratihata means uninterrupted, eternal, blissful experience through the devotion of the Supreme Vasudeva Bhagavati. Unto Vasudeva. Bhagavati means the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Bhakti Yoga Prayojita. If we engage in this devotional process, Prayojita means engaged. Janayati Ashu Vairagyam. What are its external effects? It will cause the detachment from all the entangling attachments of this material world since eternity. Janayati Ashu Vairagyam. And if something is removed from our system, correct? All the unwanted garbage, everything, then we feel empty. So that emptiness will be filled with the Jnanam Chetad Ahetuam. Jnana means experience. Ahetuki Jnana is same as pure devotional service, because devotional service by nature is bhava. Bhava means experience. Ahetuki Jnana, like the devotional service by its very performance is so blissful in giving us the experience, Then in front of, when by the very performance of pure devotional service gives such joyful experience, why would one desire anything else? That's why it is called ahetuki. It cannot have any purpose other than the pure blissful experience which it gives by its very performance. Yatma samprasidati, and ultimately fulfillment, blissful fulfillment of the soul. So we started after Mangalachan in first two slokas and third, and then we started the Guru Vandana in that Sri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma. So to invoke the Lord's special blessings, we also pay our obeisance to Nitai Gaur Sundar. Ajanulambit bhujau kanakavdatau Sankirtanaik pitarau kamalayatakshav Vishwambharau Dvijavarau Yugadharma palau Vande Jagat Priyakarau Navatarau. Shri Nitai Sundar ki jai. So we begin the prayer Sri Guru Charana Padma, Sri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma. the lotus feet of the spiritual master, they are the abode of pure devotional service. Kevala bhakti. Kevala means pure devotional service. So we understood. So this point in the beginning, this Siddhanta, that we are targeting Kevala bhakti, the pure devotional service, where all the unwanted or anything which blocks the purest sentiments of devotional service, they are removed. And so we have to understand, we have to become conversant with the concept of pure devotional service. So defining the hallmarks of Keval or pure devotion, Sri Rupa Goswami has given that specific verse. Every sadhaka should memorize and contemplate about different aspects. Basically, the tatastha lakshana, the marginal symptoms of pure devotional service, and the Swarup symptoms, Swarup lakshana. Swarup means a very constitutional qualities of pure devotional service. Anyabhilashita shunyam jnana karmadi anavritam. Anukulyena krishnanu shilanam bhaktir uttama. Uttama means the purest. So definition of devotion, it's very magic, very complete definition. And so much can be elaborated upon. We elaborated little bit on that nature of pure devotional service. That it is free from ulterior desires. Again, recouping, covering the main important fundamental aspects which we'll be expanding upon. Our building, or this whole structure of pure devotional service of our sadhana will be built on this foundation of this purest full understanding of pure devotional service. So the definition of pure devotional service is that it is free from ulterior motives, like reaping the fruit of fruitive activities. What is that? Again, getting trapped to self-centeredness, sense gratification. It's like a delusion by distraction. The original, in the pure state, the sentiment of the heart is searching for Krishna alone, because Krishna is our source. We owe our existence. Krishna is our center and everything. But because it has been disrupted, or what is that? When the railway engine is derailed, what is it called? So derailed. So, and we got used to this derailed state of our existence, like a delusion by distraction. So many trapped by so many distractions, external, gross. We are not even conscious about them. It has become our second nature. And, we don't deliberately want to do something which is delusional or it has become our second nature. It's like pramad, delusion, inattentiveness of the mind. Means mind is not focused on the real interest of the soul. That's the point. So that's why reaping the fruit of fruitive activities, and then again, this is like bhoga. Bhoga is one distraction from pure devotional service, path of pure devotion. And another one is to lose everything, to lose one's existence, to merge into the total existence, and to lose the individuality, to experience anything whatsoever. Can that be? So that aspiration also will be a most or biggest stumbling block if one wants to achieve the blissful experience of pure devotional service. So this is the sense gratification. It comes under a delusional pramad, but this non-dualistic knowledge, or becoming liberated into the existence, become non-existent. It's an illusion due to ignorance, because of the ignorance of the constitutional position of the living entity as the eternal part and parcel of Krishna. The Tatastha Shakti, one particle of the one energy of Krishna, Tatrastha Shakti, marginal potency. So we are teeny spark particle of the marginal potency of Krishna. And due to the illusion of the Swarupa or the Samandha Gyan, illusion due to ignorance, and that illusion due to ignorance is very conscious. One is very conscious that he knows everything. Correct? Yennera Vindaksha Vimukta Maninas, a person, one who is illusioned by this non-dualistic knowledge that only I exist. So if there is anything, everything is me. So one wants to negate everything around and thinks that if whatever exists, Brahma Supreme, whatever it is him only, non-dualistic. So the teeny, most insignificant, smallest living being thinks of oneself as everything all the way. What could be a greater illusion than that? And that illusion is very conscious. Those who are trapped in that illusion and ignorance, they are very proud of thinking that they are everything. So this illusion due to ignorance is very conscious and deliberate. That's why it is called illusion. So Brahma and Pramada. So these are the two aspects in order to become free from all the vices of on the path of pure devotional service. This delusion and illusion. Delusion is very gross. Illusion is very subtle. Both are the traps. So this is what we discussed, that if you want to achieve the platform of pure devotional service of Uttama Bhakti, two things have to be very clear. Lakshya and Lakshan, the words are discussed. Lakshya means the target. What is our target? What is our motive? What we want to accomplish? We want to accomplish. So what is the Lakshya? Lakshya is increasing the joy of Krishna. If we owe our existence to Krishna, if we come to appreciate how much in debt we are to Krishna, how much gratefulness we should be able to express to Krishna. Of course, only we have received everything from Krishna. What we have got to offer him. So whatever we have received from Krishna, by those very means, if we want to offer our gratitude towards Krishna, then we will try to do everything that will not only increase our appreciation for, but it also will impress Krishna, so that he will accept us in his eternal, what is the word? Eternal realm, eternal fold. So that is the thing. So we express our tendency or proclivity to reach the Lakshya. Lakshya means how to increase the joy of Krishna. And the things which we do, thinking in the mind, how should we think in order to increase the joy of Krishna? How should we speak to increase the joy of Krishna? And how should we act to increase joy of Krishna by impressing him? That will determine. So the action of the mind, action of the speech, we word, and through the senses. So all our these proclivities, lakshans or pravrittis, proclivity, correct? Proclivity is a word one can remember. No? Proclivity means our intention, the motive, the drive of the mind, of the speech, and also actions, and all the senses actually. The target is to increase the joy of Krishna. And if no other motive should exist. So if our proclivity, if they meet the target only, if the actions, but our actions or our proclivities through the mind, words, or action, mostly ultimately actions, because whatever we think in the mind, if they are not put out in action, they won't take effect. But naturally, before anything comes out in action, it is already thought over in the mind. So if the actions exceed or violate, the violation is always exceeding the limit, correct? if you think of this violation, it's always exceeded. Like if the speed limit is 60 miles per hour, and if you go over, then you will be penalized. Correct? Something violate means crossing the limit through our these proclivities of mind, words, and actions. Because very interesting. Anukullene Krishnanu. Anything which the living entity can do, it cannot cause, it cannot harm the Supreme Lord. So even the demons who like to fight with Krishna, they only entertain Krishna by fulfilling his the rasa of chivalry. Veer rasa, Veer rasa is gratified Krishna, but their intention in the proclivity in their thought is they want to kill Krishna, they want to harm Krishna, although they can never harm Krishna. But because of their tendency, because of that negative pratikul bhava, it cannot be called pure devotional service, although apparently Krishna gets the joy of fighting with them. So this anukul bhava means anything which is intended to increase the joy of Krishna. Now, even if apparently certain activity does not increase the joy of Krishna, Mother Yashoda is thinking, oh, the baby is very busy, very, very obsessed with drinking the milk from my breast, but I have to protect that milk which is boiling, or because the milk is uh, meant for Krishna only, making wonderful sweets and all it is. So apparently the immediate target of pleasing Krishna is violated, correct? Or not met even. He has not placed the violation. She has not even reached the target, so there is no question of exceeding it. The demons exceed it. They definitely bring joy to Krishna, but they also want to kill him, harm him. So it is ati. In Mother Yashoda's case, although apparently she is not reaching the target, Krishna cried and Krishna became very mischievous. But because her intention was never to harm or bring anything less satisfaction to Krishna. And that's why even that very act is considered pure devotional service. So intent matters, correct? Even if the target is not reached, apparently, it is still considered pure devotional service because intention matters the most and ultimately, correct? So that's why we studied in order to properly understand the loving pure sentiments of Krishna. So Nautam Das Thakur calls Sri Guru as Kevala Bhakti Sadma, the abode or the shelter or the source or the embodiment of pure devotional service, and thus defines the identity or constitution of Sri Guru, while at the same time glorifying him. Actually, what a wonderful explanation that for the living entity, for the sadhaka, the lotus feet of the spiritual master are the meeting place between the living entity and God. Isn't so? That is the experience. That is the ultimate experience one should seek to. It's like meeting God himself. It's like a combination, combining two. Devotional combination, devotional meeting place. And thus he is the vessel of pure devotional service. One can drink, Charana Padma. Padma means the lotus, so when one becomes attached to like the bringa means the bumblebee. Bumblebee when becomes attracted by the fragrance and the sweetness of the lotus flower or the lotus flower, then it becomes, it can drink. So in the same way, a disciple can experience the ambrosia of pure devotional service, the nectar of pure devotional service under the shelter of the spiritual master. Not only during sadhana stage, but also in perfected stage. Like in other sadhanas, in other disciplines, in Jnana Margis. They think, yes, Sri Guru shelter is initially very useful, but eventually when you become yourself perfect, then you are one with him, so there is no need of surrender or to the spiritual master. It is just temporary thing, because they are so much involved and obsessed with the temporary affairs. That's why, although they target to become free from the entanglement of this material world, but because they could not find eternal bond with anybody in this material world. That's why for them also, the importance of Sri Guru is just in the beginning sadhaka stage. But when they attain perfection, they realize that they are Brahma also. So who will surrender to whom? Who is whose? So because the Sambandha Gyan is totally missing, and that's why there's a very big illusion they are under. So from the lotus feet of Sri Guru, that are the abode of pure devotion, the living entity or the sadhaka attains the pure devotional nectar. Nectar of bhajan, bhajan of Bhagavan, bhajan of the Supreme Lord. Once again in conclusion, so from the lotus feet of Sri Guru, that are the abode of pure devotion. Correct? The living being or the sadhaka or the disciple attains the pure devotional nectar of the bhajan or the devotional of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. By the grace of the devotional lotus feet of Sri Guru, the practitioner erases all his vices. Wow. The vices which are very, very difficult, even through one's own endeavor to wipe out. All vices, erases all his vices and easily accomplishes a loving attainment of the Supreme. On the other hand, when one has no faith in the lotus feet of Sri Guru, or if one commits the fault of being ungrateful to him, the seed of offense is sown and bhakti or bhajana becomes dry and dead-like, Therefore, Narottama Das Thakur very strongly establishes that bando mui savdhan, one has to be extremely careful, bando mui, be very, very careful. Then, today we will, so basically by the Guru's grace, the Lord's grace is attained. But when he is not pleased, the supreme goal is never attained. So in the first lines of what we discussed last time, the beginning part of the Sri Guru Charana Padma, so that was the essence. The last Sloka of Guru Ashtakam, Yashya prasadad bhagavad prasado, Yashya aprasadad na bhave. By the Guru's grace, the Lord's grace is attained, but when he is not pleased, the supreme goal is never attained. So that indispensable importance of attaining. So, so that's why this what we are venturing, what we are trying to accomplish, something which could not be accomplished since eternity because of the trap of Maya, because the trap of this illusory energy. It's called Moh Maya ka Jal. And it is said that very rare soul crosses it over, And basically, one who is able to cross over, actually, he becomes rare. He is called Birla. There is a thing. So that trap of infatuation and illusion, come delusion, like an addiction. It's an adoption. The material energy, its presentation, the living entity becomes trapped and it wants to adopt it. And one has to be awakened through transcendental knowledge. It is no excuse that one think, well, we are in ignorance since eternity, so how can we come out? Only to come out, only because we are capable of coming out. That's why this proposal, this connection of spirituality is given to all of us. And it is indispensable for the human being, for the awakened soul, especially once we come across this satsang, association of pure devotees who are in their consciousness free from the entanglement of the three modes of material nature. So after coming in contact with the pure devotees, it is only basically without coming in touch, without associating, and without uh, finding after, without taking shelter of the pure devotees, it is impossible. That's why it is indispensable to take shelter of the pure devotees if we really, really, really want to come out of this entanglement. The trap of dharma and adharma, the animal life is in adharma, papa. So when somebody acts like without rules, regulation, it is called sinful life for the human society. The concept of sinful life and pious life is for the human society. But so as much as there is a trap of adharma or sinful life, greater is the trap of dharma life, living regulative sense gratification, like a so-called civilized society. But in civilized society, especially because of the possibility of attaining satsang or the association of pure devotees, so there is a possibility that one may transcend even the trap of dharma. Why a so-called civilized human being, when he adopts the rules and regulations of dharma or civilized life, some codes of conduct, so he can give up sinful life and adopt a pious life, rules, regulation. But the function is the same. Ahara, nidra, bhay, metun. How to eat better, sleep better, and have sense gratification better of different kinds, and defending all these things. So just by becoming a religious or pious person, that doesn't free one from this entanglement since eternity. We have lived even pious life or religious life innumerable time, but we are still stuck here. Most of the population is in the same trap. Illusion. Illusion is like that of water in the mirage. Illusion. And due to ignorance of our eternal connection bond with Krishna. So illusion is due to the ignorance of our eternal bond with Krishna. And delusion is due to the inattentiveness of the mind. I'm bringing this point again and again because in order to cause the utmost fascination of Krishna consciousness, this concept as to where do I stand myself, where am I stuck myself, however trapped or willing or we are captured by the illusion and delusion of this material existence. Satsang alone will, through satsang alone, it would be possible for us to come out. So illusion is like a mirage, correct? And the ignorance of our connection or bond with Krishna, eternal bond with Krishna. And delusion is due to the inattentiveness of the mind. It is not deliberate. Delusion is never deliberate. You know, we study these four symptoms of the four faults of a conditioned soul. And a liberated soul is freed from these four faults. What are these? What is this? Delusion, illusion. What is the third one? Karna patav and vipralipsa. The cheating propensity, vipralipsa, and karna pata means imperfection of the senses. Senses can, the eyes can see only that far, ears can hear only that far, that much. So they have limits, imperfections of the senses, cheating propensity. But the very foundational are illusion and delusion. So the illusion and delusion both are mistake actually. But one is a conscious mistake, another is an unconscious mistake. One is a deliberate mistake, another is an undeliberate mistake. One is gross, one is subtle. So this is the demarcation. It should be very wonderful to figure out very clear distinction between illusion and delusion. Most of the sadhakas I have noticed when they ask the question, they don't have clear-cut understanding of illusion over delusion. Very, very superficial understanding. And that's why one should be very, very clear, because sometimes delusion is taken for illusion and illusion for delusion. No, that's not good. It's like if somebody is distracted by some other thought while making halwa, right? Making halwa, putting the, the flour or suji, putting ghee and everything. And when the point comes to put sugar in it, in the kitchen, sugar and salt both look the same. But because once one is distracted by thought of someone else or something, instead of sugar, if the person puts salt, he's not putting deliberately. It's just inattention of the mind. And that is called, so it's not a deliberate mistake, but it is because of the inattentiveness of the mind, So, but by genuine mistake, it's a genuine mistake. But in illusion, one makes a conscious mistake, knowingly. We will give an example what is illusional mistake and what is delusional mistake. So where illusion is making deliberate mistake. Can you think of deliberate mistake? You see something consciously to be like this and that. That's why we gave the example of mirage. In mirage, one is very consciously perceiving the water in front, correct? Where the horizon, where the sky and the land meet, or just before that, the reflection causes as if it is water. And who can deny it? To everybody, even to a person of knowledge, even to the most learned person, in mirage one sees the water, reflection of water. That cannot be denied. And still, if one is given a choice, do you see the water? The person will say, yes, yes, I see the water. We will all see the water. But those who are in knowledge, beyond ignorance, beyond this illusion, they will say, apparently it appears as water, but it is not water. But those who will call it water, they will make a conscious mistake, correct? It's not that they are in delusion of any kind. They are very attentive, very focused. Yes. So illusion is making deliberate mistake to think of oneself that which he or she is not. This illusion is Maya. Maya means that which is not. What is Is there anything which is not? Can we think of? So it is in the consciousness. It is in our what we think, what we are not. There is Maya. What we think, what we are not. So in our reality, in constitutional position, we are part and parcel of Krishna, isn't so? So in the material world, any designations, any status, due to our this present material body identification, this is all illusion. We have mostly our whole dealing is in this misidentification. That's missing illusion. It's very, very difficult. All around, we are trapped by this illusion. So to think of oneself that which he or she is not, illusion is more dangerous because it's a very deliberate. It's like a asatir satya karimani hari hari. Asatir, which is actually asat means it does not have any value. We call it the most valuable. Isn't this amazing? So any nomenclature, any identification we give of ourselves, the eternal soul, if soul is identified with something which is non-soul or temporary, it's illusion, but illusion is very strong. So illusion is more dangerous because it's a deliberate. What I think, what I think, not what I know, but what I think I know. So what I think is incomplete because what I think could be only apparently only. It's not necessarily the truth or the real thing. Correct? So to transcend illusion is much more difficult than delusion, which is due to only distraction caused by external factors, or whereas illusion is Maya that does not exist and therefore should not exist in our lives. Maya is the wrong perception of the thing. That's all. How you look at the thing, that will determine. So if you look at the thing, what the thing is not, then it becomes Maya. But if you see the thing properly, it is not Maya. So sometimes we ask question out of, is Maya Maya? Maya is that which is not. So the mirage is Maya, correct? So is mirage or the water reflection, is that illusion? Water reflection is real. But to think that it is water is Maya. So we should not be trapped by the reflection as real. That is the thing. So that is the, whereas delusion is external trap. Illusion is a internal or conscious. That's why it's very critical. Delusion is like deep sleep, like sleeping. So when we are sleeping, what happens? We are not attentive about our atmosphere. So somebody is in danger, we don't know whether danger is around. So somebody just kicks us or just wakes us up, like from the trap of slumber, deep sleep. Being not in control, undeliberate, oblivious to the surrounding. So what is the cure to come out of delusion? Somebody has to be there to tell us, Jiva Jago, Jiva Jago, Jiva Jago, Jiva Jago. Get up, sleeping slow. Get up, sleeping soul. Udiye, Udiye. I remember when we were in 1991 end and towards the beginning of 92. We stayed for 1 month in Mumbai ISKCON Center. And I remember why I recall this because so there was one brahmachari supervisor we were staying, you know, and so 4 o'clock he would just wake up every day, everybody. Udiye, Udiye, he went to say get up, get up, get up, you know. So the Hindi word is Uthiye, 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 but he was from South India. But he would say Udiye, Udiye. I still recall this because just last week that devotee also came to Vrindavan. Somehow in the group, conversation just continued. I said I shared my this experience of, and that devotee is still there. He's almost our age, you know, South India. So the thing is, Jeev Jago. Then one can come out of the delusion. Whereas illusion is a conscious trait. Therefore, in illusion, one insists to be in mistake because his ego is involved. Egoistically, if one considers the wrong thing right, then who can protect him? Who can save him? Because his ego is involved consciously. Whereas in delusion, he is not conscious that he is making a mistake. So he can be awakened like from the deep sleep, whereas one who is in illusion does not think that he is wrong. Therefore, only by divine knowledge, only by transcendental knowledge, both can be saved. So I think these two things, which is a fundamental mistake or the which is possible in sadhaka, we discussed so that it will be used in our understanding and imbibing the message of Sri Guru. And ultimately, only by becoming Sri Gurus, so illusion and delusion, they are wiped out, correct? They are taken care of by coming in touch with transcendental knowledge. It is indispensable to become situated in transcendental knowledge. And after that, even after taking shelter in transcendental knowledge, in order to attain the perfection of our human potential, the process is this Guru Padashraya. Only by becoming gurus, one becomes first the proper disciple, and then can be called guru by others. Basically, we are trying to understand the Guru Tattva, the concept, the foundational question as to who is Guru or who can be Guru. Your Guru is not some title or some position, which one hankers today. It is, the question is, one only should endeavor, or one does endeavor as a sadhaka to become the disciple. So if someone has to become disciple, then he has to search out the Guru. It is not that Guru claims that he is Guru, but the sadhaka has to search out who can be Guru. That is the point. So one who has become Gurus, one becomes first the proper disciple, and then that person can be called Guru by others. Therefore, without first becoming a proper disciple, no one can be called or accepted a Guru. A proper disciple alone, can be accepted as Guru. You know, and that's very, very important, because the shelter and direction and the mercy of Guru alone will help the conditioned soul who is trapped either in the trap of a sinful life, adharma, or one who is in a trap under the greater trap, greater bondage due to pious life. Because a person who is pious, like, he feels that comparative superiority over those who are sinful, and people are very proud of their religious tenets and religious duties, or what they think their life is. So, but it's a trap only. Only the shelter of the spiritual master, who is beyond the trap of even beyond the trap of dharma. You know, बुद्धि युक्तो जहाति है उभे सुकृत दुष्कृते कृष्ण अर्जुन. Bhagavad Gita 2.50. Buddhi yukto jahati. Only by becoming endowed with the practice of pure devotional service, that is buddhi yoga. Buddhi yukto jahati hai. One should free oneself from. Ubhe means both. Sukrita duskrita. One should free from sinful life. That is an understatement. But also from the trap or identification that I am a very pious person and I'm following the rules, regulations of religiosity. But this but animalistic propensities are not, one has not become free oneself. So who will become free from the trap of this animalistic propensities, either within sinful life or within pious life? Only by taking shelter of the one who is free from that trap, because he is trapped, or he is found his obsession in the supreme, obsession of the service of the divine couple, Sri Radha Shyam Sundar. So now we proceed further in the prayer. Guru Mukha Padma Chite Te Kariya Aikya. If you want to recite one after.
Guru Mukha Padma Chititi Koriya Kya
Apna kori ho mane asha.
Dharna Kori Mane Asha
Guru charane rati aise uttama gati.
Shri Guru Charane Aise Utama Gati
जे प्रसाद पूरे सर्व आशा.
Ye prasad pure sarva asha.
जे प्रसाद पूरे सर्व आशा.
जे
Ye
प्रसादे
prasad pure
पूरे सर्व
sarva
आशा
asha.
Guru Mukha Padma Vakya. The words that emanate from Sri Guru's lotus mouth give the heart sufficient strength. There's another writing in which Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitte Te Kairiya Aikya means, for a disciple, the words that emanate from Sri Guru's lotus mouth, one has to put one pointed attention to them. Chitte Te Kariya Aikya. Chittete kariya aikya. With exclusive attention one has to give. Because those words give the heart sufficient strength to attain Krishna. They are so powerful, so potent. Arana koriho mane asha. Do not covet or desire or hanker. Coveting means greed for something which is not meant for oneself. There is coveting. So do not covet anything else, because coveting anything else will deprive us for the real hankering. Deprive of the thing worth real hankering. So do not covet anything else. Sri Guru Charne Rati. Attachment to Sri Guru's lotus feet is the supreme goal. Uttama Gati. Sri Guru Charne Rati. I say Uttama Gati. Attachment to Sri Guru's lotus feet itself is the supreme goal. And by his grace, all desires are fulfilled. This is a very profound statement. How deeply, how thoroughly, and how wholesomely we should be able to understand and appreciate this. Today we'll try to understand it through the help of our predecessors, acharyas, who have left so much literature, so much writing, so much elaboration. We can only just keep diving in this ocean of elaboration. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and others have expanded. So first is the weightage of the words which emanate from the lotus mouth of Sri Guru. So after taking shelter at the lotus feet of the bona fide Sri Guru, who knows the truth about Sri Krishna, Jai Krishna Tattvaveta Sei Guru Hoy. Kiba Shudra, Kiba Nyasi, Kiba Vipra, Kiba Shudra, Kiba Nyasi, Shudra Kene Hoy. Nay, Jai Krishna Tattvaveta Sei Guru Hoy. One who is conversant wholesomely about the tattva subject matter of Krishna, he is worthy to be accepted as Guru. So after taking shelter at the lotus feet of the bona fide Sri Guru, who knows the truth about Sri Krishna, so how one takes shelter? By taking initiation in the mantras from him. Sri Gurudev will instruct the student in sadhana bhajana, rules and regulations, and teach him the truth on Sri Krishna Tattva, then Prema Tattva, what is love of God, and what is rasa. So from Sri Guru, he learns or finds his fascinating understanding of who is Sri Krishna, what is love of Krishna, and what is rasa or relishment. Just as the words that emanate from the divine mouth of Sri Guru are honey sweet and are like elixir for the ears and heart, similarly they are very powerful on the path of bhajan. If you follow the directions, advice of Sri Guru, we will feel their potency through experience, through realization. If we understand the Krishna Tattva through the eyes, through the heart, through the words of Sri Guru, then they will go directly. They will be, if we put full faith in the words, then our understanding will be like enhanced very fast. So in this today's Tripadi, Guru Mukha Padma Vakya, Nautam Das Thakur, first of all, indicates that by saying Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Arana Korihomane Asya. Just as the words that emanate from the lotus mouth of Sri Gurudev, who is the embodiment of Sri Gurudev, who is the embodiment of Bhagavad Bhakti Rasa. If you want to see a pure devotee or one whose heart is drenched with love of Krishna or the divine couple, then one should look up to Sri Guru. Who else better person we should find if you want to look up to as to who the purest devotee who is. Correct? So that's why the accepting or taking shelter of the spiritual master, one has to become very mature. One has to become very, 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 very conscious, very, very ready as to who he is getting in touch with, who he is dealing with. Because spiritual master is the embodiment of Bhagavad Bhakti. The words which come out of his lotus mouth are sweet and relishable as honey. Of course, the words which describe the most wonderful Nama Rupa Guna Lila, the Madhurya, the sweetness of Krishna, of Krishna's sweetness. What is the Tattva, love, or Prema and Rasa? So naturally, those words are sweet and relishable as honey. Similarly, they are filled with intoxicating flavors of devotion. Nothing can compare with the instructions of Sri Gurudev. Nothing can compare with the instructions of Sri Guru, whose heart melts with compassion and affection that extends towards his students. So if the heart melts with compassion, affection, who would be the beneficiary? Can you think of? If the spiritual master's heart melts with compassion and affection, that flow of compassion, affection, it will extend towards the students only, correct? Therefore, the disciples should hold or carry in their hearts the very powerful words emanating from the lotus mouth of Sri Guru, who is the embodiment of pure devotional service to Krishna. His words about the flavors of devotion to Sri Krishna means Radha Krishna. His words about the flavors of devotion to the divine couple that are powerful enough to make one attain the supreme and give up all other aspirations other than this. What is the only aspiration left? To attain the pure devotional service to the divine couple. So that should be the testimony or the evidence. If we really imbibe, to the extent we are able to appreciate and imbibe the message and the proposal of pure devotional service, our engagement in pure devotional service as directed by the spiritual master, testimony would be if we are able to give up all other aspirations other than this. So the purport of this is that when Krishna sees the wretched, so we are continuing to understand the depth of Guru Tattva. So the purport through this, because from the spiritual master, the disciple is able to get all the necessary blessings and everything is accomplished through his Atma Samarpan, or fully unconditionally taking shelter of the lotus feet of Sri Guru. So the purport of this is that when Krishna sees the wretched situation of a human beings that are bound in Maya, when Krishna thinks of the conditioned soul trapped or bound by Maya, Krishna being the original father of all the living entities, especially, this human life is given specifically to accomplish that goal which Krishna wants. Krishna wants us to look for this option to be in his eternal association under the shelter of the internal or Swarup Shakti of Krishna. So the Krishna makes this arrangement. So when Krishna sees the wretched situation of the human beings trapped by Maya, the heart of the merciful Lord melts, and he wishes to bless them by making them relish the sweet flavors of his ecstatic worship. How he accomplishes this? Then from the Samashti Guru, this concept is Samashti means all-inclusive. All-inclusive Guru. That is Krishna only. Then from the Samashti Guru, or all-inclusive Guru Krishna, that's why they say Krishnam Vande Jagat Guru. Krishna is the Guru, or the abode of ultimate fortune, ultimate good. Krishna is the original or the all-inclusive Guru form of the Lord. The Lord's form is the aggregate of all Gurus. So the Guru Tattva originates in Krishna, and he manifests into many, many bodies. The power to become Guru, Gurutva Shakti, potency, manifests in a great soul. So in case of, if we think of ourselves as a conditioned soul, then Krishna's compassion and the melting of his heart, that flow catches up to us through the embodiment of that mercy flow. So the power to become Guru manifests in a great soul, or Vyasti Guru. Vyasti Guru means individual Guru, who is accomplished in devotion. He is qualified to take up the post of bona fide Guru. The instructive words of such a Sri Guru, who is the embodiment of the Lord's deep compassion. Embodiments means condense. Embodiment of the Lord's deep compassion. Karunya means compassion. Ghana means condense. Vigraha means the form. So when the Lord's deep compassion takes a form, then that person, he becomes endowed with such great power that there is no more room for doubt. So it's a very individual perception. Those who become interested for spiritual enlightenment or spiritual awakening, or they become interested in attaining the supreme good or ultimate good for oneself, then one seeks out who has met that standard, isn't so? So Those who become interested spiritually, they seek out a guru who has attained that perfection which we are all aspiring after. No? Of course, everything comes from Krishna, but the arrangement of Krishna is such that one who is genuinely or sincerely seeking the perfection, to attain the perfection of his human potential, then through study and satsang, study of scriptures, he finds out what it is, what is the nature, what is the definition of attaining the perfection of one's human potential. In Bhagavatam, it is described, Labdva sudurlabhamidam bahu sambhavante manusyamarthadamanityamapiha dhira turnam yate tanapate mrityu yavan nishreyasaya vishaya kalu dharma kalu sarvatash Nishreyasaya Vishaya Khalu Sarvatah Shat. The sense gratification is available even in the most abominable species of life. Whereas Krishna consciousness is or the means to attain the perfection of one's human potential. After many, many births and deaths, one achieves this rare human form of life, which although temporary, affords one the opportunity to attain the perfection of life. Therefore, a sober human being should quickly endeavor for the ultimate perfection of life, as long as his body, which is always subject to death, has not fallen down and died. After all, sense gratification is available since eternity in all species of life, even in the most abominable species of life. Whereas Krishna consciousness, Nishreyasaya Vishaya, Nishreyasaya, this possibility of attaining Krishna consciousness is only made possible in human form of life. That's why elsewhere Krishna says, this much arrangement has been made to benefit the human society, specifically to be able to fulfill that purpose which cannot be fulfilled in any other species of life. Nidehamadyam sulabham sudurlabham labam sukalpam guru karnadharam Mayānukūlena nabhasvateritam Puman bhavabhim nataret satmaha. Krishna tells Uddhavji, Nideham adyam, this human form of life is the best opportunity. Adyam, Nideham adyam, sulabham. This best opportunity is somehow or other given to us for free because we don't know whether we paid the price for it. Or even if we paid price, we don't know, correct? So something most valuable thing, the highest opportunity has been granted to us for free. Sulabham means without endeavor. It's just been given to you, just take it. And because something is given freely or without an endeavor, a person is not able to value it. Huh? But in order that we should value it, we can value it. Krishna says, Sulabham Sudurlabham, but it is very temporary. Somebody may give you as a reward, free. Somebody is very liberal. Okay, you can take this magic wand or the touchstone, whatever you want to do it, But then he puts a limit. You can keep it only for 1 year, or 6 months, or 5 years, 10 years, correct? Now, the thing should become very valuable now. Imagine if the most valuable thing is given to us for free, and if you said that you can keep it forever, but even we cannot live forever. So when some good scruples will be ignited in his brain, he say, my God, oh, this thing is really that beneficial. I can get so much out of this. Let me use it. So who ignites, who causes us to endeavor specifically to reach that goal with the help of this most precious or most valuable opportunity in the form of this human form of life. Sulabham Sudaplavam Sukalpam. It is compared to a very suitable boat. Sukalpam. What is the purpose of boat? To cross over the ocean of nescience. Plavam Sukalpam. Guru Karna Dharaman. The spiritual master is a very, very capable. Guru means heavy, correct? So if you take shelter of the heavy, then you also become heavy. Correct? It's like the anchor. Anchor is very heavy stuff, no? If one is anchored through the anchor, then even the big flow of wind or water, although it can shake you up, but it cannot dislodge you completely. So one who takes shelter of Guru, Guru means heavy. He cannot remain now light. He cannot remain casual. He just cannot act ordinary. He cannot think ordinary. He can speak ordinary. He cannot, because he also has to become heavy. If you associate, if you take shelter of the heavy, you also gain that weight, heaviness. So this is the purpose of, so spiritual master is the embodiment of Krishna's compassion. And uh, his instructions are endowed with such great power that there is no more room for doubts. Hence, in this today's discussion, Nautam Das Thakur is saying, those who are yearning to attain Sri Krishna, Je Prasade Pure Sarva Asha. Asha means hankering or yearning. Those who are yearning to attain Sri Krishna, keep these powerful words of Sri Guru within the heart and renounce all other aspirations. Wow, what a powerful. For a conditioned soul who has come through, even as a sadhaka, he has gone through so many different kinds of sadhanas and different kind of association in the name of spirituality. Now, when it comes to take shelter of a particular spiritual master, one has to be very, very vigilant. One has to be very, very careful. So that careful means one has to feel the sanction of the heart. If one accepts or agrees the shelter of a spiritual master through with the judgment of his intelligence or through his intellectualism, then without the indication of the heart, without the feeling, very natural and you know, as close as to the heart, as they say. If something you feel from the heart, you want to give yourself. We don't give out. Nobody gives oneself completely intellectually. Intellectually, you can make some transaction. You can think of what is in your advantage, what is not in your advantage. Your buddhi, your intelligence is trying to scale this guru, this person, that person. So one who makes the choice of the spiritual master through intelligence, he will be cheated. The revelation in the heart, that's why in our circles we describe that by the mercy of Krishna, Krishna reveals who to take shelter, and he reveals in the heart. He gives the indication in the heart of a particular person so that later on we don't feel disturbed or we don't feel like what is the word? We don't become frustrated, or we don't think that, oh, how this happened. When something is with the sanction of our heart, then we cannot have second thought, you know. So that's why the question is asked, if the instructions given by Sri Guru are not favorable to the teachings of the scriptures. So this very question is out of place, but this question is asked because in the selection of the spiritual master, many people have just used their intelligence rather than the confirmation from the heart. That's why this question comes. The question is, if the instructions given by Sri Gurudev are not favorable to the teachings of the scriptures and the great souls, great saintly persons, others, you know, sadhus, should the sadhaka still establish such faith in them? What a strange question. Well, the answer has to be given. Nah? The bona fide, if one is a bona fide guru, is the proper parampara of Sri Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So the bona fide guru can never give instructions that are unfavorable or in opposition to the instructions from the saints and the instruction from the scriptures. Correct. It's a common sense. What the spiritual master will, what would be the instructions of the spiritual masters? What he speaks? He speaks only what he has imbibed, what he has received from his spiritual master, correct? The previous acharyas and the scriptures. So the source of all spiritual instructions is the scriptures. And those who follow in accordance with the scriptures, they are called saintly persons. So spiritual master is also the saintly person in the present time for us. He's the best saintly person, he's the best devotee who came in our life. So naturally, if he's a bona fide spiritual master, he would not speak anything in opposition or unfavorable to the saints and scriptures. If a guru does give rejectable instructions or objectionable instructions, I give you one example. If Sri Guru does give rejectable instructions that contradict with the teachings of the scriptures and the saints to a disciple, the bona fide disciple does not accept them. But at the same time, does not dishonor Sri Guru in any way. If someone has taken shelter through initiation of a bona fide disciple, means one who has been a bona fide guru, means one who has been recognized as a bona fide disciple in Guru Parampara, then that person can be accepted as bona fide guru. But for some reason or other, if he speaks the instructions or give instructions which are not in agreement or in opposition to the script, the instruction given by the previous acharyas and saintly persons and the scriptures, then the bona fide disciple does not accept them. But at the same time, does not dishonor his Sri Guru in any way. He will discard such an instruction, means taking himself to be unqualified to understand its purport. So here is a very deep thing is described. If the spiritual master, on one hand, we consider him on the same level as God, or even give him first honor before even Krishna, we honor him as Sakshat Hari, and all this superlative, absolute status we put the spiritual master. And now his instructions Who are we? Who are we to just to check him whether they are in agreement with the scriptures or the previous acharyas? That much sort out we should have done before we take shelter of the spiritual master. Nonetheless, this question is raised. So, if the instruction appears like totally out of place or totally against the scriptures and the saintly previous acharyas in the same line of disciplic succession, what to do? So the example I want to share, in the initial stage, immediately after taking the initiation, we were very new and we were following the rules and regulations. And so once we visited San Francisco from Los Angeles because there was some conference in or we were going some home program with Guru Maharaj doing an address to. So it was the day of Ekadashi. In Ekadashi, we don't shave, correct? That is a rule given to us. We don't cut the nails, cut the hair, or do the shaving like this. So Guru Maharaj wanted me to join him in the home program. Of course, we would go. So he noticed in the afternoon that, but you are not shaved up, nicely, and we are going to the home program. So I just very politely I said, Guru Maharaj, yes, I will, today being Ekadasi, I did not. So Guru Maharaj told me, but we are going to a program where we should appear good. He asked me if I could shave. So at that point, what was my position? My position is that this is the instruction given by God. This is the instruction given by the manifest God. So what would I, if I compare, well, if Krishna himself comes and tells me, would I deny? Krishna is not coming, but this manifest form of God is there right in front. And he's asking me to do shaving on Ekadasi. What I did without any second thought. So is this in violation of the instruction of the previous acharyas and scriptures like that? He's not generalizing it. In a specific case, if he asks to do something, then we do it, but he's not insisting that I can do shaving on Ekadasi. No, that's the general principle. But in exceptional case, as a test, I was tested whether I will follow or I will try to tell him, oh Guru Maharaj, don't we not shave on Ekadashi? I could have stupidly dared to tell the spiritual master whether what should be done or what should not be done. So that's the point. Sometimes we will be checked in our faith because there's many individual cases, but we have to wait as to where our faith stands. Are we becoming so intellectual in judging the status of the spiritual master, or we should see the circumstance and what circumstances he is giving the instruction and how I would use my discretion or vivek to follow his instruction. And so in that regard, there is no violation. It's just exceptional way one, so out of sometime on Ekadashi somebody has, and somebody is going through some disease and one has to take the medicine. Now, it's so critical that one cannot skip the medicine for one day. So if the medicine has some grains or some non-Ekadasi items. So that's why the medicine is those who are on the medication, they are spared from that dosha or the fault of not following Ekadasi properly by by taking the items which are not suitable, not allowed in Ekadashi otherwise. So this is the thing. But if something is totally like somebody asks you to eat meat or whatever is, nothing. Actually, it is said that Prabhupada told his disciples, because most disciples in Western countries, they come from meat eating background. And in the cold weather, they would go for book distribution like this. And so there was not much stuff to eat. So when some devotees made this, the Prabhupada should do. The Prabhupada, it is said, he said that in order to be able to do book distribution, if nothing else works, even if you have to eat meat. But that is not the instructions as a rule. It is just very exceptional thing. So we have to see the time, place, and circumstances. Even if Prabhupada said, okay, even by eating meat, so it's not that we should become very inclined to eat meat now. Again, that violating the first principle of no meat eating. But the whole idea is that we have to weigh the situation and act accordingly in our maturity. So he will discard such an instruction if it is too off, taking himself to be unqualified to understand its purport. Hence, Sri Thakur Nautam Das says in the upcoming Tripadi, in the 22nd Tripadi, we will come across this line. Sadhu Shastra Guru Vakya Hridaye Koriya Aikya Satate Bhasivo Prema Majhe. I unite the words of the saints. Unite means I consider one in unison. I see the words of the saints, the words of the scriptures, and the words of the Guru within my heart is one. No duality, no conflict in the words of all three. And thus I will constantly float in prema. Ultimately, books are the basis, correct? So scriptures will always be the ultimate evidence as to sadhus and guru. By very definition, sadhu is one who follows the scriptures. And Sri Guru is the best sadhu. So how can one be wrong if one has accepted the shelter of the best sadhu, Sri Guru? After that, Sri Nautam Das Thakur says, Sri Guru Charane Rati Aise Uttama Gati Je Prasade Pure Sarva Asha. Those who hold the instructions of Sri Guru on the principle of Krishna Tattva, on the principle of Bhakti Tattva, on the principle of Prema Tattva, means principle of Krishna Tattva, principle of devotion to Krishna, principle of love for Krishna, and principle of his taste. Taste means rasa, mellows in the heart. So those who hold the instructions of Sri Guru on the principles of Sri Krishna, on the principle of devotion to Krishna, on the principle of love for Krishna, and the principle mellow of Krishna in the heart, and love Sri Guru's lotus feet, will easily be blessed with attaining the greatest treasures in the kingdom of Prem. Wow. Sri Guru Charane Rati. Wow. Sri Guru Charane Rati. Aise Uttama Gati. Aise Uttama will be easily be blessed with attaining the greatest treasures in the kingdom of Prema. In the heart, Sri Guru Charane Rati. So Rati is the sentiment. Rati is the expression of acceptance or honoring or reciprocating in the heart, isn't it? So Sri Guru Charane Rati means one whose heart sentiments feel surrendered to the instructions, to the directions, to the will of the spiritual master. That's the meaning of Sri Guru Charane Rati. Rati is the expression of a loving heart. So the loving heart goes out. So Sri Guru means one becomes a very, very loyal follower of the instructions of the spiritual master with regard to all this transcendental subject matter. Correct? Then his love for Sri Guru's lotus feet will easily be blessed. Due to his love for the spiritual master's lotus feet will easily, he will become blessed with attaining the greatest treasures in the kingdom of Prema. So what is the greatest treasure in the kingdom of Prema? We all know, correct? What is greatest? The attainment of the loving devotional service of the lotus feet of the divine couple in Nikunja Mandir. That is the paramount, highest sort of loving devotional service. Can you give an example? What is the highest service or loving service one wants to aspire after? It's like massaging the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani's heart's friend. Massaging the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani's heart's friend. That is Sri Krishna, correct? On the strength of their unalloyed devotion to Sri Guru's lotus feet. So, this is the ultimate gift. By the strength of one's unalloyed devotion to one's Sri Guru's lotus feet, one can attain the greatest treasure in the kingdom of God. Greatest treasure, that is through attainment of seva, loving service. In loving service, so there is a variegated loving services, and one can find most fascinating or most fascinating one of the services. Different sadhakas, different manjaris can have different, additional liking for one of the services, like massaging the lotus feet or fanning them and or doing different things. Now, when Rati awakens for the lotus feet of Sri Guru's lotus feet, when the Rati means love, awakens loving sentiments, that closeness, that confidence, awakens for the lotus feet of Sri Guru's lotus, for the service of Sri Guru's lotus feet. When the Rati awakens for the lotus feet of Sri Guru, that is, if the sadhaka's heart is colored by the dye of unalloyed devotion, anya bhilashita shunyam, without any ulterior motive whatsoever, totally unalloyed devotion for Sri Guru, Sri Guru, Sri Guru's lotus feet. Or if the heart of the sadhaka becomes filled with feelings for Sri Guru, or if the heart of the sadhaka becomes filled with the feelings means that shows so much closeness, so much devotional intimacy. Feelings for Sri Guru, who is the embodiment of bhajana. He will easily attain the supreme goal. One may ask at this point, what one may ask, that what is our highest achievement? coming in the line of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what is the highest exposure of fortune, or the fortune of the highest fortune, exposure of the highest fortune, according to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or among the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. The Gaudiya Vaishnavas, our acharyas, what they say that the supreme goal is the loving service of Sri Radha Krishna. But why has it been said here then that the supreme goal is to love for the lotus feet of Sri Guru, correct? Is there duality? How to equate them? The lotus feet of the spiritual master are the same as the lotus feet of loving service of Sri Radha Krishna. Because it is said, Sri Guru Charne Rati Aise Uttamagati. The purport of this is that the sadhaka who is lovingly attached to the lotus feet of Sri Guru will most certainly attain the supreme goal of Sri Radha Krishna's Nikunja Seva. And hence the love for the lotus feet of Sri Guru, the cause, the love for the lotus feet of Sri Guru is the cause. And the attainment of the Lord, or the Lord's service of the lotus feet, the result has been used in a non-different way. That means the cause of attaining the supreme destination, ultimate destination, ultimate fortune of the service of the lotus feet, loving service of the lotus feet of divine couple in Nikunja Mandir, that is guaranteed by attaining, by having the loving sentiment or rati for the lotus feet of the Lord. Now this is very esoteric, correct? How the two can equate. One is the cause and other is the effect or result. So how can the cause and the effect could be equated? But because the cause is so potent, attaining the rati for the lotus feet of the spiritual master is so potent that it guarantees, it makes very certain, or it is the forerunner, or it is the precursor, indispensable. So something which is indispensable, without it, we cannot imagine to attain that supreme destination of the service, in the service of the divine couple in the Nikunja Mandira Seva. So the love for the lotus feet of Sri Guru, the cause and the attainment of the Lord, the result, has been used in a non-different way. Just as it is said, just to give some understanding in our, to enhance our understanding, the example is given, Ayur Gritam Iti. In the scriptures describe the importance of eating ghee. Ayur Gritam Iti, literally it means, Ayur means life, lifespan. Gritam means ghee, purified butter, iti. If somebody says ghee is life or ghee equals lifespan, literally, it is said literally, but does it mean, does it look like literally one can call ghee is life? But at the same time, ghee is not the same thing as lifespan. Ghee is ghee. Ghee is one edible thing. And lifespan is lifespan. How they can be equated? But the connotation is, it is simply that eating ghee increases one's lifespan. Then certainly ghee equals lifespan, correct? One who eats a healthy prasadam, food, ghee, naturally he lives healthily without getting good protection against the disease and all the ailments. Then naturally there is life. His life span increases. So in that sense, certainly ghee equals lifespan, since it is certain that eating ghee increases one's lifespan. Hence, Nautam Das Thakur shows the love for Sri Guru's lotus feet and the ultimate goal are one and the same. Is that love for Sri Guru's lotus feet is the only supreme means and the goal. If one has adopted the means themselves are so certain to give you the goal. So that way, very attaining the means or adopting the means of taking shelter, unconditional shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, of the spiritual master, it guarantees the goal. Therefore, Sri Guru's feet is the only supreme means and goal. The gist of all is that wherever there is loving devotion for Sri Guru's feet, there the supreme goal is also present in an unalloyed way. Je prasade pure sarva asha means that when Sri Gurudev is pleased, all the aspirations of the sadhaka, such as, so what are the aspirations of sadhaka on this path of pure devotion, especially aspiring to attain the maid servanthood of Srimati Radharani? What is our aspiration? So same aspiration we should also target. When Sri Gurudev is pleased, all the aspirations of the sadhaka, such as fanning Sri Radha Krishna with a yorktail fan in Sri Vrindavan's jeweled temple, massaging their lotus feet, or rendering other loving services, are fulfilled. Jesab Asha, or the constant hankering for Sri Radha Krishna's loving service that the sadhaka cherishes within his heart, is fulfilled by Sri Gurudev's grace. An example of such aspirations is given by Nautam Das Thakur in his Prarthana section. It's a beautiful Prarthana sung by him in fulfillment of his aspiration. What is saying in Prarthana? Kusumita Vrindavane Nachata Shiki Gane Pikakula Brahmara Jhankare Priya Sahachari Sange Gaiya Jaibe Range Manohara Nikunja Kutire. So Nautam Das Thakur, and because he has attained absolute perfection in his Guru Bhakti, in attaining Rati or love for the lotus feet of the spiritual master, as a result of which this aspiration has sprouted in his heart. The peacocks dance in flowery Vrindavan, the cuckoos sing and the bees buzz, blissfully singing with his sweethearts. Krishna moves into the enchanting grove cottage. Hari Hari Manohar Manorath Palibe Amare. Hari Hari, so this is what he's hankering. Hari Hari, O Lord Hari. When will my desires be fulfilled? Hari Hari Manorath Palibe Amare. दुहुक मंथर गति कौतुके हेरबोअति अंगे भरी पुलक अंतरे. When will my desires be fulfilled? When will I have great fun in seeing their slow paces? Radha Krishna together moving very slowly. When will I have great fun in seeing their slow paces and thus get goosebumps of ecstasy all over my body? Chaudi ke sakhir majhe radhika ingite. Tripadi is then. Chaudi ke sakhir majhe radhika ingite. Charu chiruni loiya kare kari. कुटिल कुंतल सब विथारिया अंचरब पुनाई वो विचित्र कबरी. Making the hair of Radharani, Radha Krishna. While we are surrounded by Sakhis, Radhika gives me an indication to take a comb into my hand. I will then comb all of Krishna's curly locks and make a wonderful braid of it. मुग मद मलयज सब अंगे लेपबो पार्या ओराई बो मनोहर हार. चंदन कुंकुमे तिलक बो नाई बो फिर बो मुख सुधाकर. I will anoint their entire bodies with musk and sandal and hang a captivating necklace around their necks. I will design a tilaka of sandal and vermilion and behold their moon-like faces. Neela pattambar jatane poraibo paye dibo ratana manjire. Full decoration. Bhungar भृंगारेर जले रंगा भृंगारेर जले रंगा चरण धोवाई बो ऊंचाई बो अपन चिकुरे. Carefully I dress them in blue garments and place jeweled ankle bells on their feet. I will wash their reddish lotus feet with water from a pitcher and wipe them with my own hair. Wow. कुसुम कमल दले सेज बिछाइबो शयन कोराबो दोहा कारे. I will put them to rest. धवल चामर आनी मुदु 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 बिजाबो. मृदु मृदु, slowly and slowly. धवल चामर आनी है ना, चावर Ani, I will bring the chamar. Then mridu mridu bijabo. Very slowly, slowly I will fan them. Bijabo means fanning. Charamita duhuka sharire. Charamito sharamita duhuka sharire. I will make a bed of lotus petals and make them recline on it. Then I will bring a white yorktail fan and softly fan them, thus soothing their exhausted bodies. कनक संपुट कोरी कर्पूर तांबुल भोरी जोगाई बो दोहार वदने. अधर सुधार से तांबुल सुवासे तांबुल सुवासे भोकाई भोकबो अधिक जतने. I will fill a golden box with camphor laced betel leaves and place these leaves at their lips. Put the betel pan in their mouth. Then I will relish the nectar juice from their lips, flavored by betel leaves with extra attention. Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Lokanath Dina Bandhu Muidine Koro Avadhana Radha Krishna Vrindavan Priya Narma Sakhi Gana Narottama Mage Dana. So Lokanath Nautam Das Thakur is praying to his Sri Guru. O Sri Guru, O my Guru, you are an ocean of mercy and the friend of the fallen. Please hear me. What he's asking? Please hear me. Radha Krishna, Vrindavana, the Priya Dharma Sakhis. This is the gift Nautam is asking. Nautam Das Thakur is asking his spiritual master. The gift of Sri Radha Krishna, Sri Vrindavan Dham, and all the confidential Priya Dharma Sakhis that are the Manjaris. This is the gift we all should ask. We should ask from the lotus feet of the spiritual Jai Prasade Pure Sarva Asha. So I think we can stop today here and invite some participation, question, observation, comments, or anything would say. Hare Krishna. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Gaur. Oh, Krishna. So in this regard, in Utkalika Vallari, Rupa Goswami has, in his aspiration, similar expression in Sloka, Utkalika Vallari, Slok number 52. Kadaham sevishye vratati chamari chamar marut vinodena krida kusuma shayane nyastava pushau Daron Nitrau Shrama Jalakana Klitya Dalakau Bruvana Vanyonyam Rajanava Yuvana Vidayuvam. So this hankering and our Acharya Guru Vargas, they have expressed their devotion to the lotus feet of the spiritual master, seeing the spiritual master capable of giving the highest gift to us. Sri Radha Pad Sevanamritamaho Taddatumi Bhavan. So what is the highest gift? Sri Gaurangu Matam Swarupa Viditam. What is the opinion of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Sri Gauranga Matam Swarupa Viditam, which was known only to Swarup Damodar Goswami. Rupa Graje Nadritam, which was most respected by the Sanatana Goswami, the elder brother of Rupa Goswami, Rupa Graja, Sri Gauranga Matam, Swarupa Viditam, Rupa Graje Nadritam, Rupadhyai Pariveshitam. Rupa Goswami gave it out. He made it available for the whole world. Rupadhyai Pariveshitam. Raghuganai Aswaditam Sevitam. Raghunath Goswami and others, they realized it practically. Aswaditam Sevitam, they served it by relishing. Jivadhyai Abhirakshitam. Jiva Goswami provided the scriptural protection to protect the sublime nature or the rare sublime fortune of attaining the ultimate thing, which is Jivadhyaya Bhirakshitam Shuka Shiva Brahmadi Sammanitam. From the distance, Shukdev Goswami, Brahma, Shiva and others, stalwarts, they just pay their respect from the distance. Sammanitam. Samman creates a distance, correct? When you honor somebody, he's somebody very high and so Sammanitam, so they are far away from that fortune. Shri, what is that fortune? Shri Radha Pad Sevanamritamaho Tadatumisho Bhavan. So it is a prayer to one of the previous acharyas to prayer to Bhaktivinoda Thakur, showing their devotional Sri Guru attitude towards Bhaktivinoda Thakur. This is a prayer. So we express this same sentiment to the lotus feet of our spiritual master, His Divine Grace Bhaktisvarupa Damodar Swami Maharaj. For us, it's an absolute conviction that He is fully capable to give us that most aspired fortune of attaining the loving service of the divine couple in Nikunja Mandir by posing our utmost fortune of attaining Sri Radha Dashyam. Hare Krishna. So anything Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Pranam Shri Guru.
Hare Krishna.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Shri Guru. The way you describe the glories of Shri Guru, the way you describe how we should surrender at the lotus feet of Shri Guru. It's so inspirational to hear. It gives us complete new energy that yes, I want to surrender like this. This desire just by hearing you, Shri Guru, comes in our heart. And without your mercy, Shri Guru, this desire will we can never experience this desire, Shri Guru. Now we pray at your lotus feet, Shri Guru, that may we work upon this desire and we fulfill this desire and we become complete slaves of our dear Shri Guru. Hare Krishna, Shri Guru. Pranam.
Sri Swamini Matayastu.
If anybody would like to speak something or ask something, please kindly unmute.
All right. Thank you everyone for your patient listening and encouraging us by joining. And so next week we will travel to Pune and Ichalkaranji. So we'll leave next Thursday. Not tomorrow, but next Thursday. And hopefully it will be Friday, Saturday, Sunday we will be in Pune. So the satsang will be conducted from there. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 4 days in Pune, looks like. Tuesday, after that we will be. So 1st of May, we will be in Pune. All right then. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur
Hare
Preman, Hare 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 Hare.
Hare Krishna, Shri Guru. Pranam, Shri Guru.
Hare Krishna, welcome. Sri Swami.
Fascinating satsang, Shri Guru. As our dear Kirtanya Sadari Sakhi says, Shri Guru, truly fascinating. And how this discourse, how you conduct, Shri Guru, the Guru Tattva is so esoteric, so vital, so important, and same time you make it so sweet, Shri Guru. It's so lovable, admirable. The personality of Shri Guru itself, Shri Guru. You're the Ghanisht embodiment of that pure Tattva and bliss combined together, Shri Guru. And without coming across you, without understanding you, Shri Guru, nothing, personally speaking, nothing could be understood, Shri Guru. Even though we sing so many times and given there in books and all, but this treasure hunt, we cannot at all embark on this journey without your loving grace, Shri Guru. Koti Koti Pranam, Shri Guru.
No? The purpose is to make it feel feasible, you know. We can discuss, talk very amazing things, but if it is not personable, if it is not something one can feel that it is for me also, you know, most things we, in spite of knowing or getting the information, we very easily distance from that. But this path is completely opposite. It is not distancing from the real thing, but becoming involved more and more to such a level that one becomes only his. You know. So one who becomes Sri Guru's, then he also attains that. So the basic definition of Sri Guru is one who himself became his gurus. You know, one who could not become his gurus, how can he be Sri Guru? Correct? So that joy which if one did not experience himself, how can he cause that joy in others? Isn't it? Huh? That is the beauty of it. How can one be so miser in not sharing that unlimited joy of becoming Sri Gurus? So only one who has become truly, genuinely Sri Gurus, he alone can impart, because he's experienced that joy. Without experience, it's all theory, and theory can hardly take us. We have been studying only theory since eternity, you know, without realizing it. So this is our best opportunity. In this lifetime, we have the best opportunity to first feel this conviction in the heart that we are connected to a realized person, you know. And if we have that conviction, then we stand very great chance to become realized ourselves, because that experience will be transpired in the heart of one who genuinely takes unconditional shelter of the spiritual master. So one who has become confidential of the spiritual master, then he also becomes blessed with the same or similar fortune. Same fortune. Why similar? Same fortune. Nothing is kept, nothing is held back. Everything is given. The spiritual master is ready to give it all. The lacking is only in the receiver. Correct? So who doesn't want to be
Hare Krishna Gurudev.
left behind?
Hare Krishna Gurudev.
Hare Krishna.
Kindly do please bless me for the strong love for the lotus feet of yourself. Please do bless me for the urge, eagerness for the love of your lotus feet. Hare Krishna. Pranam Gurudev.
Sri Swamini Mati Astu. So the whole idea is that now the worrisome thing or the thing of concern is that who wants to be left behind? Who is nobody? Nobody's forcing us. Nobody's there. Nothing is negative. There's nothing that is blocking us to move forward on this path. The trap is that we are so used to be left out. So this curse we have to get over with. That's all. There's so many ways trying to ultimately make us come to that point of full surrender. Yes, I am yours. Where we can wholeheartedly say that I am yours. And that's the most wonderful feeling. Nothing like that, that much conviction. Like those who are trapped in material consciousness or this worldly consciousness or bodily consciousness, for them, even the shelter and connectivity with the father, mother, brother, spouse, or is there, and it gives tremendous. But that bond is only limited to the journey of this body. It doesn't make one free from fear. It doesn't make one aware of the eternal blissful status of the soul, which one can achieve. So, what is in our offing? What is in our fortune? Most conditioned soul remains oblivious to it. Only through genuine spirituality and satsang, the connection to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we are exposed to this ultimate fortune of Sri Radha Dashyam. How can we not get it from one who got it? We simply have to identify and be convinced about whosoever who got it. Then we can definitely get it. Yadrishi Shraddha. If we are absolutely convinced to the feeling in the heart, total, complete freedom from any doubt, sanshay, then we are definitely going to be the recipient of the ultimate fortune. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. All right.
हरे कृष्णा प्रणाम श्री गुरु।
Hare Krishna, welcome.
कुछ कहना है कहो।
Sure.
थैंक यू सो मच। थैंक यू सो मच मुश्किल है इंग्लिश में कन्वर्ट करना. You are the divine personality described by Srila Narottam Das Thakur, whose heart is not touched by this world, but completely immersed in the limitless ocean of Prema Bhakti Rasa. You alone truly taste that Prem Bhakti Rasa. Your heart reveals your compassion, for you freely distribute that same nectar to souls wandering in darkness. You are the living bridge between the fallen Jiva and the intimate service of Sri Sri Radha Shyamasundar. Your words are not just mere teachings, they are Vishuddha Sattva, flowing streams of Vraja Prema. Your instructions are not discipline, they are invitations into divine Leela. You see no qualification, no disqualification, only the possibility that one day this soul may awaken to Srimati Radhika Rani's Seva Bhav. You eternally relish this prem. You make the impossible possible by granting a drop of that prema. Without you, Prem Bhakti Chandrika remains just words, but through you, each syllable becomes living. I do not know how to glorify you, but even glorification requires qualification, and I stand empty. Yet still I pray, let my voice remain engaged in your bhajana, in your remembrance. Let my heart be softened by your mercy, and let my existence find meaning only in following your lotus footsteps. Again and again, I bow down to you, the Rasika Shiromani, the distributor of that rarest treasure of Prem Bhakti Rasa. Who can be more better than you? Who can be more sweeter than you? Not even honey is more sweeter than you. You are my inspiration. You are my bhajan. You are the sweetest heart singing all these bhajans. You are source of everything. And the very beautiful song you just sang. Kusume Vrindavan Nachate Shikhi Gani Pikakula Brahmara Jankare. I really miss you. The days with you in Vrindavan. The best line of this bhajan is Bringare re jale rang charan dhavaibo paye divo ratana manjeere. कैसे अपूर्व है ये प्राण उड़ेल कर की गई सेवा. वर्णन क्या है मानो सेवा रस प्राणवंत हो उठा है. How extraordinary is this service performed by pouring out one's very life force What can even be said in description? It's as if the nectar of service itself has come alive. Just hearing about this service brings such profound joy. I desire, I really aspire. When will I be able to do such service, even 1%, by your mercy? There is no other way to attain such fortune of service except through the great mercy bestowed by you, Sri Guru. Whatever mercy you showered and whatever you are going to shower, whatever you are going to give us is extremely rare, and I am so fortunate that you are my Priya Shri Guru. Jai, Jai, Jai. I, from my heart, continuously shower flowers, 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 and flowers onto your divine lotus feet. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Pranam Shri Guru, Hare Krishna.
Sri Swamini Matayastu Nitai Gaur Premanande. All right.
Hare Krishna. We will chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra minimum 3 times with respect and love for our dear Shri Guru.
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Hare
Rama, Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare
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 Ram,
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Rama,
Ram,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Rama,
Ram,
Hare Hare.
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
From our core of our hearts, we will call out Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajakacarya Ashtotara Shatshi Srimad His Divine Grace Shri Swamini Kripamurti Bhakti Swarup Govind Maharaj ki
Jai.
Jai
Jai,
Gurudev,
Jai,
Jai Jai
Jai.
Gurudev,
Gaur Bhakti,
Jai Jai Gurudev.
Gaur Premanande. Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Hari. We'll, we'll see you in Kirtan just about 1 hour. All right. Welcome.
Hare Krishna, Sri Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Sri Swamini Matayastu. Gaur
Pranam.
Premanande. Hari Hari.
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
welcome.
Krishna, Pranam Sri Guru.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
welcome.
Krishna, Pranam Shri Guru.
Sri Swamini Matayastu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Pranam Shri Guru.
Sri Swamini Matayastu.
Hare Krishna Shri Guru Pranam.
Everyone, Sri Swamini Matayastu. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari 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 Bo.
Hare Krishna, Pranam Shri Guru.
Hare Krishna, you also included.
Hare Krishna, Dandvat Pranam Gurudev.
Hare Krishna, Gaurangi, you are the youngest, huh? That means you have developed a ruchi, correct? In satsang. That's very rare at this age. Huh? Or someone is younger than you? Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol. So we'll join you all in the Kirtan. All right? Gaur Premanande. Hari 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 Bol.